Hi! The Nigerians must have hacked my mic. Sons of bitches. Oh. Anyways, welcome to Normal America Show. Host robnoerr. I said it's Thursday, 65 degrees today, but it was windy. That's it. That's basically all you missed. Fucking Nigerians. I would have been on sooner, but I was on the phone with Coach Mim talking about my crypto portfolio. And I gotta say, so far no gains, but I know I'm a shoo-in. I know that you can't go wrong with Coach Mim. Started off already with a mute. It's been a weird day. So I was geared up to do the extravaganza at 6 o'clock, or I guess, say yeah, 6 to 7. And I had to go to the pharmacy, and I was like, I'll go after the show. And then Andrew's debate ran long. So I'm sitting here, and on one hand, it's like, well, Andrew might end his debate at any point, and then we're going to start the extravaganza. On the other hand, my wife's like, if you don't get to the pharmacy, then I'm going to beat your ass. So it was, ultimately I decided my wife's more scary than Andrew. So I went and, how's Nigeria this time of year? It's great. Oh, yeah, the new intro video. Thanks, Spartan. Yeah, thanks to my editor, Black Elk, put that together. We'll listen to that here later today. Should my shirt say Man Titty City? I'm not really into Man United. I went with Steel City. This guy. Show me Madman. Look at him coming in with his jokes. Coming in with his titty jokes right out of the gate. Didn't even get out of the fucking bullshit and pleasantries. This dude's already coming in with man titty jokes. Holy cow, it's going to be one of those nights. A lot of people say that, like, mocking people could help them lose weight and, a little insulting them, shit like that. I think I've told you this story before. Sometimes it can have the opposite effect. So, one of the people I worked with, the one I worked with the most, at my old job, adult with autism, we used to walk the local, you could loosely call it a mall. It's a building in which used to have stores in it, and now didn't really after a while. But we'd walk it. And one day I'm walking it with my guy, and this old man, he could barely walk straight, he's stumbling in. I mean, this guy to be fucking 85, 90. And he's like, hey. And I was like, hey, what's up? He's like, come here. And I thought, it's a small town. So I was like, he probably knows me or knows my parents or something. So I was like, hey, what's up, man? And he's like, you ought to be ashamed being so fat. You're never going to make it to my age. I was like, hey, fuck you. With a mouth like that, I'm surprised you made it this old. And he's just like, eh. Now, secretly, I'm kind of impressed. I was like, that's pretty good. Like, you're old, you don't give a fuck. But then my reaction was like, fuck that motherfucker. I'm going to gain 100 pounds. I'll show that asshole. How about that? Think you're going to shame me into losing weight? Fuck you. Heading to the buffet right now. How about that? That's like 8 years ago. That guy's probably fucking dead. Bam. Who wins that exchange? How about that, old man? Anyways, it was pretty good. I kind of tipped my cap. Oh, Ryan, what's happening? Some bad news. Well, Ryan's here. I think Ryan and me are going to push back Monday's Law and Order episode. We both have stuff going on Monday, so we're going to push it back to the following Monday, I believe. Yeah, I outlived that mall guy. I guess I don't know that. Theoretically, that guy could be like fucking 100 now. But he got me. So now we got guys coming in, talking about my titties right out of the gate. Anyways, nice Thursday, right? I thought people would be nice to me. I thought, I got my fucking bullshit hack. By the way, I think it's funny. Everyone's like, oh, because Rob's an old boomer. Probably, but still, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened. Tell you this, I know that X Their support sucks as bad as any customer support I've ever seen. They take time out of their day to be like, yeah, we see it looks like you got hacked. We ain't going to do shit about it. Try talking to us in a week. I mean, damn. I thought it was weird the hackers started calling me a cuck and asking to see my penis, saying it was all about respect. I was like, sounds so familiar. Where these Nigerian hackers came from, I just don't know. Anyways, we're trying to get to our dono goal of $357 tonight. That would be great. Yeah, the viewers, they do. My wife's right. They lack a little thing called respect. You don't know about respect. You lack respect. Yeah, I think I'm technically a millennial. I think I'm like on the upper end of it. I was born in 84. So, what's my goal? I don't know. Lose some weight. Have some fun. You know, surely, yeah. The goal's $357. Start charging tolls. Yeah. The Normal America show is going to be the new Straits of Hormuz. We're tolling that shit. I saw France was like, well, we consider like tolls a violation of our like free movement and trade. It's like, what? Like, I understand if you're like, no, fuck you. That's one answer. Like, no, we're not going to pay it. Go fuck yourself. But to claim that you have some right to like free movement or trade, I'll kiss my ass. What you can do about it, France? Nothing. You make some baguettes. You're going to go, ugh. Je ne parle anglais. That's what you're going to do. Nothing. Oh, look at the legendary CEO. $100 says toll. Thank you. Look at that. The straits are open for another day. And I do mean straits. I found a list. We're not going to do it. I don't know about YouTube. I told you before that my wife and me have this game where we have like a point system and it resets every day. But if you get to like 200 points for the day, then you're gay. And there's a varying actions that have different points. So like drinking out of a straw, 50 points. If you're drinking out of a straw, that's 50 points towards it. So if you have 4 separate beverages with straws, you're gay for the day. The daily gay point system, yeah. There's other things on the list, right? Blowing a guy, that's like 200 points. Making out with a guy's like 1,000 points. You know, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, I found this guy on X. He just had a list of things that make you gay, and there was a lot on there. So I think tomorrow, just a little preview, we'll go through this on the extravaganza and see if we can come up with other things or things we disagree with. If your account gets hacked, 50 points for every day your ex account's hacked. No! I was mentioned on Joe Rogan. That's not gay. Anyways. Oh, look at this guy. Wade Boggs. $100 says big shout out. Oh, fuck. Big shout out to Coach Mim for all the crypto advice. Never could have made. I fucking hate you people. Get him, Coach Mim. Wow. I'm glad that Coach Mim's programs working out for you. Boy, that Coach Mim changing lives. Manny Chuck, thanks so much, man. Member for 3 months says, yeah, motherfuckers. Congrats on the new Bitcoin house and truck. Thank you. It's going very well. Motherfuckers. Oh, what's that? Am I getting hacked again? No, we're not going to do it tonight. We actually have serious topics to talk about tonight. The war. But which war? There's a war going on right now, and I feel that it's not being covered near enough. So that gives you a clue that I'm probably not talking about Iran. And I'm not, although it's certainly important. I think that it's a distraction. The Bloods and the Crips, it hasn't really touched me. I had to do some driving today, and I like to have YouTube videos on. I listen to all kinds of crazy stuff. So I was listening to this guy who was interviewing a convict, and he was just talking about like spending 20 years in prison and like prison life. And then the next guy, the video just ends and it brings up the next guy, and he was now you can tell I'm hip because I'll use the lingo. He was a shot caller for the Aryan Brotherhood. Now, I don't know if you guys know about the Aryan Brotherhood, but I was intrigued. I was like, well, what's the qualifications? They're like being white. Okay, a club for white people. Sounds good. I'm interested. Let's hear further. Brotherhood? That sounds good. Some guys coming together, right? It's like, all right. They're in prison, so it's like, well, that's a downside. I don't want to go to prison. But then they said they operate businesses outside of prison. I was like, that's fantastic. Never know when I'll need a job. Nice to know that there's a club, a brotherhood, where you get a job. I was like, okay, tell me more. It started to go downhill. Apparently, they are in the methamphetamine business. Not really my cup of tea. So I was like, well, let's hear a little more. There's a lot of stabbing, apparently, which isn't like any brotherhood I know. So I'm not going to recommend joining that particular brotherhood. I'll look elsewhere. I'm still a member of the Eagles. I used to be a member of the Moose. No stabbing necessary. You just paid like $40 or something. But yeah. Anyways, it was very interesting. I was listening to this guy. It did not sound glamorous. I never know, though. Yeah, the Shot Caller movie is good. I like that movie. You never know, like, have you ever listened to those dudes online? I've listened to a lot of them. I'm very interested in, like, prison life. Like, I'm amazed at the ingenuity of prisoners. Like, how clever people could get when they're, like, locked down like that. And, like, just, like, shit they make out of almost nothing. And I find it interesting. Anyways, I have seen one about, I think, the Bloods. I don't think the Crips. I saw a guy from the Bloods that was on there. But I never know if they're talking out their ass or not. Like, who's going to fact check them? Right? Oh, yeah, man, we shanked this guy, and we did this, and we did that. He was talking about poisoning people in tacos, that they got shit, like, they put in these people's tacos to try to poison them. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Anyways, I'm not affiliated with the Aryan Brotherhood. I just want to make that clear with everybody who's watching who doesn't like the Aryan Brotherhood. And more importantly, if you're watching and you're with the Aryan Brotherhood, I'm not doing some stolen valor type shit. Just saying. But no, the war I'm talking about is not the ABs versus the Aryan Circle, or the Latin Kings, or the Crips, or the Bloods, or... Nope, not that war. I am an Aqua Cadet. I was. Official member of the Aquabats fan club. Also, no stabbings that I'm aware of, but I never rose up the ranks, so... I got the hair for the AB. Did you guys see Trump's post about Alex Jones and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson? Basically declaring war on fucking half of the right-wing commentary class. Anybody see it? We'll bring it up here later, but it's a big, long screed. Trump was like, must have been pissed off at dinner or something. Waiting for, what's he have, a Diet Coke button? He was waiting for the Diet Coke. Yeah, it's insane, right? With all the shit going on in like the world, and the president of the United States is basically like, fuck you, Tucker Carlson. Calling him stupid and shit. I think Megyn Kelly's included on the list. And like to see that. That's also not the war, though. That's not the war I think really matters. It's not that. The war I'm talking about is in Nigeria. You see, there's been a lot of crazy shit going on. And I think it's time to talk about it. Actually, I'm lying. It's not Nigeria either. It's Uganda. There is currently a war going on in Uganda. And I cannot fucking believe it. That the lack of coverage. I have to fucking use my backup X account. Since I've been hacked by fucking Nigerians or perhaps Ugandans pretending to be Nigerian. Isn't there always a war going on in Uganda? Not one like this. It may require boots on the ground. Now, listen, I'm going to show some footage from it. I hesitate to do this. I think I've got footage that's acceptable for YouTube. A lot of times, if you're showing on the ground footage from wars and it depicts death and stuff like that, YouTube doesn't like it. So I think I've got footage. And I'm not joking. There is death. I don't think there's any in this video. So if there are any young people watching, this seriously may be traumatic. So give me a couple seconds here. I'll read some super chats. So just letting you know. Joseph Romano, thank you so much for being a member. Blessings upon you. And then GWD, good. We'll just say Mank. Thanks for the 20. Says, okay, man. That was an acceptable norm routine, I guess. You sound like a real jerk. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, we ready? I've given you enough time to brace yourself. All right, Uganda. The war that no one's talking about. A large group of chimpanzees in Uganda's Kibale National Park split into two rival factions, sparking a deadly conflict, according to a study in Science. The group, once about 200 strong, lived cooperatively for decades, but began dividing around 2015 after key social males died and a new alpha rose to power. By 2018, the split was complete with no remaining social ties. The two groups then turned violent. The smaller faction launched coordinated attacks, killing adult males and later targeting infants. Genocide. At least 24 chimpanzees have died so far, though the true number is likely higher. The violence is ongoing. That's brutal. I don't give a fuck about people anymore. But chimps? Even the chimps are warring? That's brutal. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Rob just had a little joke there. No, I'm invested. So here's some footage. Dom Luker found some footage of this war. All right, here we go. the ominous Tenet music really does it. It's fucking crazy. They're killing infants and shit. Now, I had known in the past the chimps will do. In fact, I had heard that chimps are ridiculously violent and orangutans are big and lovable. And I'd heard stories of them killing infants of rival clans and stuff. But what makes this unique was that for decades they were part of the same, I don't know what they call it, group or whatever. And then they split up. So I thought that you guys might be interested here. We have some details. This guy, Big Surge, he's on it. He says, I'm monitoring the ongoing Ngogo chimp civil war in the Kibale National Park. Chimp Group Center appears to be on the verge of routing. They've retreated from the primate lodge, and their alpha male, Morton, appears to be heavily wounded or perhaps KIA. So here's the situation map here drawn out from today. Now, what you'll see here is Morton's group. This is Chimp Group's Center, and they're currently fighting Chimp Group West Alpha. So Chimp Group Center has retreated. You see they were at the primate lodge. They were in two separate locations, and Chimp West Alpha simultaneously attacked both groups. Morton, who's in charge of Chimp Group Center, appears to be critically wounded or dead. They're not sure yet. And then what you can see is their garrison launched a broad offensive at the primate lodge itself. They penetrated into operational depth, and it threatened enemies' females and infants, which were behind the line. So it is not looking good. Yeah, and apparently the West Alpha chimp is a fucking military genius. He's been launching coordinated attacks in ways that they're not used to chimps. Now, I don't know these characters. And much like Israel-Palestine, I'll be honest, I'm not going to try to go back 100 years and find the bloodlines and see if one of these chimp groups was promised this land 2,000 years ago. I don't know. I don't know about that, right? So it's hard to pick which side's the aggressor. I'm sure there's been abuses going back to 2018 when the split occurred. But there's something about Morton. I have to cheer for Chimp Group Center and their leader, Morton. I'm hoping that he isn't KIA. I'm hoping that he's wounded and rises up like a golden phoenix to lead Chimp Group Center back to victory. And I think you could draw a lot of parallels from this situation and sort of other things that we see in our daily life. Oftentimes, when you look to the animal kingdom, you can kind of get some clarity. And I think when those rumors broke about Trump wanting the monkey channel, I think we ought to strongly consider paying more attention to the chimp world and getting enjoyment, whether it be conflicts in the chimp world or humorous chimp activities, whatever it is. I'm personally invested. I would watch a fucking TV show, like a daily 1 hour report, like Reporters on the Ground with the chimp offensive. I want to know what's going on. So, I don't know. I was bummed out. Sometimes when I'm lying in bed and I wake up and you think about all the problems with the world, I'm like, well, at least the chimps are doing all right. And now Now I can't even say that. And I know you guys think I'm bullshitting, and I'll be honest, I'm half bullshitting, but not really. I'm a big chimp fan. Ask my wife. So I have a buddy who spent some time in Japan. Did you ever see, I'll see if I can pull this up. There used to be this GIF you would see, this meme. And it's this chimp and this dog. And I laughed so hard when I would see this GIF. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. Let's see if I can find it. Are you kidding me? X, you're really letting me down lately, X. All right, let's try this. This guy, this, it still makes me laugh. This guy, they're right. Have you ever seen this chimp in overalls? That's some dog. Huh? Is that fun? I thought that was fun. I used to see that in the lab. Where's this dog heading? He's so, my goodness, he's in such a hurry. His master's like a little chimp. So I don't know how it came up. So my old roommate, we used to have like a Blockbuster in town. And we decided one day we were going to rent every movie with a chimp in it. And there's a lot of really bad ones. There's like chimps playing basketball, and there was a chimp riding a skateboard movie. And we just got shit-faced and watched like a bunch of these chimp movies. I'm trying to think some of the names of them. They're pretty funny. Anyways, the chimp and dog, I brought it up one day. And my buddy who works in Japan sometimes is like, yeah, that's from an old Japanese TV show. There's a whole TV show about this chimp and dog. And I found it, and I watched like 7 episodes. The thrust of it is, they actually got in trouble because the chimp started to get mean and shit. But the thrust of the show was this Japanese show where this like guy would look at the chimp and be like, we need you to go to the store and buy eggs and take your friend with you. I forget what the dog's name was. So they would take, and then they would narrate over it, and it'd be like, first the chimp was confused and stopped in to get ramen noodles. And it just shows him like eating noodles. The dog was more concerned with the mission. And that was it. And they would just like, obviously they're setting the situation up, but there was an episode where he gets stuck on a roller coaster at a theme park. Suffice it to say, I'm probably more interested in chimpanzees than the average person. I've sort of gone out of my way. And then there was this show I used to watch about this chimp rescue park in Britain. I forget what it was called. And then the main guy of it died in like the 2nd season. Spoiler alert. He like died, and then his wife took over this. Anyways, I'm sort of bummed out by the chimp civil war in Uganda, and I hope cooler heads prevail. I think Trump's claimed to have solved 17 wars. Let's send J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio. See if we could broker a chimp peace deal here. I would count that. Personally, I would count that. I would say, I don't think fucking Kamala or Joe Biden would have solved the chimp civil war. Trump's on it. Chimps riding warthogs? No. Oh, any which way but loose. Now that's an orangutan, but yes, great movie. Yeah, Joe likes the chimps too, right? So there you go. That was the war that concerned me today. I was bummed out. So I'm hoping somehow Morton makes a recovery. I do have a bone to pick with Nigerians, though, that allegedly it appears as if they're responsible for the theft of my X account. Now, apparently, them with the help of Coach Mim, the Nigerians are using my X account to get clout that's helping them fund projects. And so now they're getting into the aerotech industry. So the hackers sent me this of a project they're working on. They're trying to develop, apparently, some new form of like aerial travel that's more personal. I was getting visions of like jetpacks and shit. So these pricks sent me this. I hope they're happy with the ill-gotten gain stealing my ex account. So you can see the works, they're really advancing. Yeah, Coach Mim probably, I don't know. Seems too risky, putting too much finance into it. Fucking Nigerians stealing my ex account. Yeah, that's right. Crafty sons of bitch. Y'all laugh at me. They're coming for your shit too. Just saying. Just saying. All right, we talked about fucking the continent of Africa enough, I think. Still bummed out about that Chimp civil war. So the latest from Iran seems to be all sorts of accusations of people breaking the ceasefire or not doing what they were told. Trump put out a post earlier today. Let's see. Apologies for my ex fuck ups. I'm trying my best here. Says Iran's doing a very poor job, dishonorable, some would say, of allowing oil to go through the Straits of Hormuz. That is not the agreement we have, President Trump. Now, we talked about this in the extravaganza. I talked about it here. There's a lot of things like everybody wants to be the big man, right? Everybody wants to be the commentator that gets the story first. It's one thing to give a prediction. It's another thing to say, this is what happened. And this occurs all the time, right? You want to be the first, you want to be right, etc. And I know it's not popular for me to say this, but anytime there's conflicts like this, whether it be this one, was Venezuela, Russia, Ukraine, so much that comes out is just bullshit. And not only that, even if it's not bullshit, everything can change at a moment's notice. So I don't get too excited when you hear Trump blustering on, or for that matter, an Iranian or someone blustering on about like death to our opponents. We're on the verge of a historic night and we're going to wipe out our opponent's civilization. We'll see. But also when you hear them talking peace. Oh, it's over. Is it? I talked about this in extravaganza yesterday. Caroline Leavitt. In fact, I probably have the clip. Let's see if I have it. She comes out and she's talking about the predictions that Trump outlined at the beginning of the conflict. Does anybody remember how long Trump said it would take? Here's what she says.
From the very beginning of Operation Epic Fury, President Trump stated this would be a 4 to 6 week military operation to dismantle the military threat posed by the radical Islamic Iranian regime. Thanks to the unbelievable capabilities of America's war fighters, the United States has achieved and exceeded those core military objectives in just 38 days. From the very beginning of Operation Epic Fury.
Now, to me, let's assume that this is the beginning of the end. We keep, weapons there. We keep an eye on things, but there's no more real bombing. No, I didn't get my account back, sir, on X. For some reason, my StreamYard still works right. Fuck these people! If you're watching on X right now, don't trust Coach Mim. Don't trust these motherfuckers. They stole my account. I'm only able to stream here, but all the posts you see about crypto's not me. Fuck them! Anyways, still a little touchy. My dividends haven't paid off through Coach Mim yet. Anyways. So let's assume that no more bombs dropped really from the United States, whatever. This falls within the prediction, and I remember Trump and company saying 4 to 6 weeks. Let's take a moment and let's say that the following happens. Let's have an optimistic outlook. By the way, I'm not saying this will happen. I'll give you my prediction at the end. But let's take an optimistic outlook. Let's say this ceasefire sort of holds. An agreement's reached where Iran's able to go back and say, yes, we beat the evil invaders with their massive military. They're going home. Trump's able to come back and he has something that's like, look, we got all the uranium out of there. We're going to have regular inspections. The new leaders are going to work with us. They're going to give us discounts on oil, some shit like that. Given the cost thus far, and let's assume then oil drops back down, and it's already started to. How bad would this be? Was it worth it? Maybe you think it's very good, the intervention in Iran. In other words, if there was some sort of achievement that you could hang your hat on, we have the regime's changed. We think now there's less likelihood of them trying to get a weapon, etc., etc. We get all the nuclear material. Was it worth it? What has the cost been? Well, it was roughly a month, a little over a month. We're told something like 13 or 14 service members have died. We've probably spent $1 billion, if not more. We lost at least 2 airplanes. Some of our allies or business partners were attacked in the region. The physical cost, and again, I want to make something clear. I don't particularly want to see the loss of life anywhere through acts of violence. That's 1,000-fold when it comes to U.S. lives, particularly the great people that serve in our military, particularly those that are in positions where they go to the front lines, like those that would have been killed in this conflict. So don't take this the wrong way when I say, if the number we're being told is accurate, that it's roughly 14 service members that have died, that is a far lower amount than I would have estimated. Does anyone disagree with that? If I was to tell you 6 months ago, the U.S. military is going to wipe out like the leadership of Iran, it's going to be a month-long war, I would have thought you're looking at upwards of 50 to 100 deaths at minimum. Now, maybe that is how many have died and we're being bullshitted. Who knows? The point I'm trying to make is the cost, as far as U.S. lives, if it was to end right now, could have been way worse. But that's only part of the equation, isn't it? There was also a political cost. Was that worth it? Alienating core members of your base? That's a tougher question to answer, and I think that, again, this is all under the assumption that this wraps up now. I don't know is the ultimate answer. I don't like this. I don't. But am I going to vote Democrat? No. There will be those that were Trump's base that this is enough. They're not going to vote Republican anymore. A handful of them may even vote Democrat, but probably not many. It's one of the most depressing things to talk about, though. No matter how bad Trump fucks up, no matter how bad the Republicans fuck up, the Democrats are fucking horrible. And from the perspective of the Democrats, no matter how bad they fuck up, no matter how hated they are, the Republicans are fucking horrible. And so, I don't know. Like, I still think, and this is the lamest prediction ever, I still think it's too early to tell how much of an effect this conflict will have on the midterms. I ultimately think that it's going to come down to economics. Historically, a president going into his second term, now it's a little different because there was 4 years of Biden in between, but historically, a president going into the second term that has both the House and the Senate gets cleaned up in the midterms. That's just the way it's been. That's what I would expect to have happen. If you were to ask me day one after the election, Rob, what do you think will happen in the midterms? I would say, well, unless something way out of the ordinary occurs, so Trump's just amazing, or he's just epically bad, what you're likely to see is there's going to be some considerable losses by the party in power in the midterm. However, the Senate map is such that the Democrats will have a difficult time taking over the Senate. So I would expect marginal gains in the House by the Democrats. They'll be up 15 to 20 seats after the election, and the Senate will be close to a 51-50 for Republicans. If it's 50, J.D. Vance would be the tiebreaker. Now, the problem is, every time a hugely negative story comes out for Trump, immediately thoughts go to the midterms. Well, this is going to fuck him in the midterms. And why wouldn't you think that? Is there anyone, like 3 days after Trump bombs Iran, other than the Mark Levins of the world, is anyone super excited for Trump? Are you excited for the Republicans? I'm not. I'm still not. And you lash out. And people like me lash out. You're like, fuck this. It's bullshit. Sucks. But then something happens, and it always happens. Time goes on. And you start to bake it into the cake. And you're like, well, okay, what's the other option? Gavin Newsom, that party? Where his wife's like, oh, I killed my sister in a golf cart when I was 7, and all the people in San Quentin, it was just accidents too. Mass migration? We bringing that back? This piece of shit, racist motherfucker that killed Irina Zaratustra. Apologies for mispronouncing her last name. 13 times he committed serious crimes, was found competent to face the consequences, and left out by lenient prosecutors and judges. But this time, when he kills a white woman and says, I got a white one, all of a sudden he's not competent. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm tired of the Somalia fucking fraud. And not only the fraud that I see with the daycares and shit, I'm tired of the fucking culture inundating us. I'm tired of fucking being told over and over again how white people suck and how Christians suck. I'm fucking tired of it. And it comes and is rooted in the same shit that the Democratic Party's rooted in. Fuck them. And the truth is, there's a lot of people that feel the same way. And even if you don't, maybe you're tired of this. You're like, what the fuck's going on with Democrats like in California? It's a terrible situation. Crime's running rampant. They're spending hundreds of billions of dollars for decades on a fucking railroad that goes nowhere. And so what happens is, something amazing. This thing happens with Trump and you're like, fuck this, it's terrible, this is the end of Trump. And then it never is. If we had a competent opposition, it would be. If they were tolerable. That'd be it. We're done with this shit, at least in the midterms. But that's not the case. I think the most common political opinion in the country at this point is, I fucking hate both sides. I really do. And so it's a constant competition to see who's going to fucking hit their thumb with the hammer next. Oh, here comes Trump. Whack. Ah. And then the Democrats are like, and smack themselves. And you're like, what the fuck? So I think if this conflict winds down and we don't see any more escalations, I don't know how much this will hurt Trump, particularly if gas prices start going down. People start working with Coach Mim to bring up their crypto portfolio. You know, I don't know. Polling's all over the place. It always is. It's bullshit. But I try to focus on polls that I think have been reasonably accurate. I like Rasmussen. Now, Rasmussen was down as shit on Trump. He's back up to 47% approval. Basically right where he was 3 months ago. Which is better than, at this point in their second terms, where W. Bush was and where Obama was. Republicans are polling better right now for the midterms than they were in 2018, in Trump's first term in the midterms. Is that because Republicans have been better? No! It's because Democrats are so bad. Now, I still expect to lose the midterms. My guess is they'll lose the House and it'll come real close in the Senate, but they won't. But I don't know that Iran's going to be the reason. I think it's going to be economics. And right now, the messaging from Trump's team's not the greatest and people are struggling. And it's the same fucking issue that Biden and the Democrats had in the last 4 years. These stupid motherfuckers, like, look, the economy sucks for a lot of people. It's not working. Now, you can pick your reason why. But it's not working. And for some reason, both the Trump administration and the Biden administration previously are just like, it's great, the economy's great, it's great. And it's not. And even if it is, well, the GDP's high and the Dow's high, that doesn't matter to a huge swath of people in this country. They're struggling. I said it over and over. I never understood. Why didn't Biden just say, yeah, the economy sucks, we know it. It's because of Trump and his mishandling of COVID. You might say, well, that's a lie. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. That's the messaging that I would have done if I was Biden and the Democrats. Instead, they tried to gaslight you. Then, day 1 or 2, Trump comes in office, they're like, egg prices. Do you know that egg prices are down 90% since when Trump came into office? Democrats were trying to blame him day 2. Like his policies took place in 2 days. But then Trump, this dumbass comes out, I don't want to hear anything about, what was the word he used? He didn't say inflation. But like economic crisis. I don't want to hear any more about it. What are you talking about? Yeah, there was a chicken calling under the Biden administration, which may have been prudent to call those. I doubt it, but I don't know. But to try to blame Trump is, yeah, affordability. That's it. Thank you, Mechanical Mike. I don't want to hear any more about an affordability crisis. Well, you might not want to hear it, but there is an affordability crisis. I just said is contingent on this peace deal basically goes through and this sort of wraps up and we're focused on other things. I'm not so sure that's going to be the case. There's a lot of players here that have an incentive for this peace deal to fall through. Israel? If you want to know what Israel thinks, just go check out Mark Levin. See what he was saying. This piece of shit X account. Let's see if I can find it. So here's Mark Levin on Hannity the other night when Trump announced that there was going to be like peace talks.
People of Iran.
Sorry. And I know everyone's going to yell it's quiet. I don't know how to change it. All I could do is what Fox's volume is here.
What are we going to just leave them there? There's nothing that we can do and we're going to wash our hands over that? That to me is morally very difficult to accept. And then what about the proxies, Hezbollah? I was reading these statements. Hezbollah has killed more Americans than Iran directly. Hezbollah is Iran. Hezbollah is firing missiles into Israel by the hundreds still. And here we have a ceasefire that they've already broken. And so, yes, the argument will be, well, they don't have control of this and control of that. Well, if they don't have control of this and control of that, how do we even enter into an agreement? There's a lot of complicated issues. People of Iran.
Mark Levin doesn't want a peace deal. Laura Loomer doesn't want a peace deal. She was crashing out. Israel probably doesn't want a peace deal. Now, a brief aside for one of my favorite pastimes. I got to make a little graphic for this. Rob crashing out on people in the audience. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyone got a guess? I'm about to yell at someone in the audience. I'll give you a clue. They're on the YouTube side of things. Who is Rob going to yell at? Anybody got a guess? No, not DD. Close. No. Clown, no, not the Jaceburger. No. Well, he'll probably get yelled at by the end of the night. It's you, Donnie boy! Yes! You sack of shit! Trump tacoed! This is one of my all-time favorite fucking opinions here, right? That you see people begging and pleading, oh, Trump, lock him up, war crimes. Oh, he's the worst. He's gonna bomb Iran. He's gonna end their civilization. He tacoed. Trump chickened out again. Fuck you. You fucking sack of shit TDS having motherfucker. Tacoed means Trump chickened out again. So the Trump derangement people are like, Trump's a lunatic that's about to nuke Iran. This is horrible. He should be removed from office, 25th Amendment. Then when he doesn't, they're like, Trump chickened out. Oh, yeah, we knew it. Did he chicken out when he took Maduro out? Was this chickening out?
Their top leadership was systematically eliminated. The previous Iranian supreme leader, dead. The Supreme National Security Council secretary, dead. The Supreme Leader Office advisor, dead. The Supreme Leader Military Office chief, dead. The defense minister, no longer with us. The IRGC commander, dead. The Armed Forces General Staff Commander, dead. The Intelligence Minister, dead. The IRGC Navy Commander, no longer here. The IRGC Intel Chief, dead. I skipped over a bunch, and I could go on and on and on.
Was that Trump chickening out as well? And not to mention, the one guy that took over, gay. They bombed the leadership into Iran to being gay. There's a lot of negative shit to say about Trump. I've said a lot of it. And Donnie, I saw you yesterday on the chat. Oh, Trump corrupted. You just pay for a pardon. You know, you're largely right. The pardoning shit's fucking ridiculous going on with the Trump administration. So I was like, I'll allow it. I know it's a Trump derangement, dude, but I'll allow it. You're right. But this fucking Trump chickened out. I was screaming and crying that it was about to be a war crime, the worst we'd ever seen. And then when it didn't happen, I'm like, oh, Trump chickened out. Fuck you. You're not arguing in good faith, if that's your point. You can't simultaneously be like, Trump's a coward, he chickened out, and oh my God, he went too far in Iran. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I wouldn't be surprised if people in Israel, the leadership, tries to intentionally sabotage a ceasefire deal. And at least at one point, they had the ear of Trump. So that seems bleak. There's probably people in Iran that have an interest in not seeing this go through. You already hear Trump, as I started off, showing, they're not doing a good job keeping the Straits of Hormuz open. Not to mention the gays of Hormuz. So I think that for me, when Caroline Leavitt comes out and she's like, 36 days, it's a good soundbite. True. If this ends up being the resolution to the conflict, yes, I will say, as someone who is hypercritical of this, hey, this could have spun out of control. It could have led to years and years. Trump's side was right. 4 to 6 weeks. But it gives me real mission accomplished vibes. Remember that? Remember Bush, mission accomplished on the boat with the Iraq War? How'd that work out? So, I personally don't think this will be the end of it. I think that my gut feeling is that we probably won't ever see massive boots on the ground. I think there'll be some special forces, and I think this will waffle back and forth for the next 3 to 4 months. And then it'll just sort of peter out. And probably, in my humble opinion, we won't stand much further ahead now than we were before this invasion. Maybe we'll have more uranium and stuff, maybe. But do you think that'll stop people 5 years from now from going, oh, they're trying to build a nuclear program again? Probably not. But as to the question of the effect it'll have on the midterms, I do think that we're not going to see an Iraq-type situation. And I think ultimately it'll come down to economics. So, but that's the case. So for everyone that's like blackpilling, and I played this clip yesterday from JD Vance talking about like why it's wrong to blackpill. Another reason is, look, hypothetically, shit could change domestically back home in ways that Trump's core base would really like. Shit could change on this channel rapidly too. Mike Bruff in all caps says, your girl Tomato says, love you, Rob. Sorry, I'm a hoe. I don't believe she said that. But thanks for watching. How should Trump react if Israel undermines the ceasefire? It depends, because Israel's going to say, but they're undermining it too. Trump needs, how he should react is to make it clear. Israel. I don't think Trump went in just because of Israel. Some people think that's exactly what happened. Regardless, I think Trump needs to go to Israel and be like, now listen, this is something that you've wanted administrations in the United States to do for a long time. And we did it. Now you're going to take a back seat. And if you fuck up now, what we're doing, we're not going to be so generous with you anymore. That's what Trump should do. If they keep fucking up, just be like, all right, that's fine. You're on your own, big boys. No more weapons or money from us, which he should do anyways. Super chats. Vita, $5 as Dunstan checks in. Great Chimp movie with George Costanza. Yes. Absolutely. O'Neill Devo, $20. Thanks. Says, I still want you to make a series of videos of people put on notice with deep dives into their accurate position versus rhetoric. Also, being put on notice is literally life-destroying according to Pisco. Make it happen. Yeah, I need to, don't worry. I have some ideas. That's a great idea, though. It is. Another new account, $5. Thanks so much. Says, I mean, we lost 13 soldiers at Abbey Gate for nothing, thanks to Biden's incompetence. So I guess we came out ahead this time. Yep. Wade Boggs, another $100. Coach Mim really crushing it. Wade, thank you for your incredible generosity. Says, all right, fine. I'll share some of my crypto with chat. Thank you. No whip wheel, right? AJC, $10 for the goal. Oh, yeah, we're at the goal. Thank you so much, AJC. This super chat sponsored by Coach Mims Crypto Portfolio. If you want a nice Toyota truck and make outstanding investments, trust your vibranium vibes and listen to Coach Mim. I just, for a second, have to say, I did get hacked. It's all true. They have been saying to invest in crypto. They're pretending they're me and that this person, Coach Mim, really helped me out. For the gullible of you, I am not recommending that you follow the crypto advice of this Coach Mim person. People are jesting in the chat. So please, if you're gullible, don't think, oh, this is someone's Rob's endorsing. I am not. Pimaraz. $5 says Rob. What do you think of the Dignity Act? Oh my goodness. We talked about it the past couple of days. It's fucking amnesty. It's terrible. It's selling out, and sadly, Trump will end up endorsing it. The counter to the Dignity Act is the No Dignity Act, which is you give people a year that are illegal to admit it so that they could give a cushy ride home on an airplane to the country of their origin. After a year, the people that don't accept that, if we catch you, we take all of your possessions, all of your money, except the clothes on your back, and we send you to the fucking border of Mexico. And if you try to go back in, we give you life in prison. That's what I think of the Dignity Act. AJ Noakes, 18 months. Man, says it is better 100 guilty persons should escape. Ah. Not anymore. Thomas O'Brien, 20 memberships gifted. Incredibly generous. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you so much. Left-handed Assassin, $5. Thank you, man. Tanner G, $5 says, I voted for Trump, but how do you feel about Trump's new allies being Graham, Levin, and Loomer? White bashes people who supported him for 10 years. I don't like it at all. I think it fucking sucks. But we'll get to that. And then GG, $2 says, I'm crypto pilled. Praise be to Coach Mim. And then Baxter Boy, $5. Thank you. Up, Caleb. Thanks so much, my friend. 11 months a member. Says, remember, hit the like, get the donos in. Thank you. Now, I have to go to the restroom, so as I go, we'll a song that came straight through from the fine folks over at Coach Mims. I'll be right back.
Naija on my plate. From my little phone, I dey buy estates. Study with small change that I bundle. Now my wallet heavy like Toyota Tundra. Neighbors in my house say, who be this uncle? I say, na small internet also no wahala. I shout, yes sir! When the chart go higher, eating fried plantain with American swagger. My mama asks, you sure say this thing legal? I say, mommy relax, I be digital eagle. Cryptocurrency, turn me to big baller. From one small room to mansion with crawler. New thunder outside, see the paint color. Everybody shout, I'ma send me the dollar. Cryptocurrency, money just a shower. 100,000 plus every blessed hour. I dey thank God, I dey thank my root. And now why my laugh on they sound like power. My guy dey vex say, teach me that thing. I say, best buy data make a hearing. He say, Omo, you can't dey speak for him. I say, bro, the accent of the winning team. I dey drop suya, but I talk like cowboy. Howdy, partner. As I count my coins, estate agent look me like I be envoy. I pay out right man, no fee hide enjoy. Cryptocurrency, turn me to big baller. From one small room to mansion with crawler. New thunder outside, see the paint color. Everybody shout, I'ma send me the dollar. Cryptocurrency, money just a shower. 100,000 plus every blessed hour. I dey thank God, I dey thank my root. And now why my laugh when they sound like power. From Okada to Tundra. From neighbor generator to solar. From who you be to saw, we hear ya. Or become my coin to Zangala. Zanga. Cryptocurrency, turn me to big baller. From one small room to mansion with crawler. New thunder outside, see the paint color. Everybody shout, I'ma send me the dollar. Cryptocurrency, money just a shower. 100,000 plus every blessed power. I dey thank God, I dey thank my root. And now why my laugh when they sound like power. All on my mind.
Show you the crypto way. You just have to keep listening to that song, and then, the blockchain. We talked about it last night. Go back and watch last night's show. We focused a lot on the blockchain and how it protects your money. If you find yourself a good blockchain and then put your crypto there, that's where it's at, man. Is it still up there? They still leave it up? Yeah, I didn't get a new truck. The Nigerians lied. Still driving a shitty Suzuki. So, who was it? Tanner. Basically bringing this up. So, a lot of the people that supported Trump, Trump puts this screed out today. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common, low IQs. Now, pause. Have those four been fighting Trump for years? Now, I think no is the obvious answer. But I will say, if I had to list these in order of people I like, I'm a big Alex Jones fan. I'll always be a big Alex Jones fan. So don't do my boy Alex dirty like this, Trump. I like Tucker. He's been influential to me. Some of the recent stuff, I don't know. Megyn Kelly, I mean, whatever. I still remember at Fox. But I'm not a big Candace Owens fan. But I think I can't really say about Candace Owens. Tucker and Alex Jones, though, seem to have been quite pro-Trump for a long time. And Megyn Kelly started off maybe not liking Trump so much, but then seemed to change. Probably because that's where she thought the money was. But I don't think it's a fair criticism of Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson that they've been like staunchly anti-Trump for years. I think that they're one of Trump's problems is well, let's just read the rest or I'll be here all night and then I'll get to this. They're stupid people, they know it, and their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their past, look at their record. They don't have what it takes and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Fuck. You know it's bad when Trump's criticizing Alex Jones and praising CNN. Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist, or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man. When she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in an ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, First Lady of France is far more beautiful woman than Candace. That's so fucking funny. The president of the United States is like, Macron's wife's not a dude. And by the way, she's more attractive than Candace Owens. Whoo! Good shit. Where were we? Far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have. Ooh, that's a bad take. For his horrendous attack on the families of Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. Wasn't that simple, but these so-called pundits are losers. They'll always be. Now fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first times in their lives. They're not MAGA. They're losers. Just trying to latch on to MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to. But when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm busy on the world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty. Just like Marjorie Taylor Brown. By the way, brief aside, if you're wondering why Trump calls Marjorie Taylor Greene Marjorie Taylor Brown now, he explained in this one post, it's because if you leave something green set out and it gets old, it turns brown. So she's Marjorie Taylor Brown. Good work, Trump. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing what's right for our country. MAGA's about winning and strength and not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA's about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. It's still pretty cold here. I mean, absolute fucking lunacy here by Trump. I just don't know what to say, though, because the first thing to say is take a step back from all of the characters listed. Do you want your president of the United States saying this type of shit? Actually, the president of France's wife's hot, and you're ugly. You fucking idiots, low IQ. Your whole family knows you're stupid. I honestly don't give a shit anymore, is my answer on that. I mean, that's baked in with Trump. That's how he talks. It's fucking insane. It is batshit crazy. It is fucking ridiculous that that's the president, arguably the most powerful man in the world. You're stupid. Your family knows you're stupid. You're ugly. But that's it. So, I mean, there's no sense complaining about it. It's a product of the fact that the politicians that are the respectable, suit and tie wearing motherfuckers have fucked everyone over, not just in the United States, but all around the Western world. So, you're going with the personality now. You get Trump. This is how he talks. So, whatever. I don't really give a shit about that. Yeah, just mean tweets bullshit. the specific people he's attacking, though. See, Trump's got this thing, like, he just thinks differently. And I think once you understand this, the analogy I give is this, right? Like, Trump's the type of dude in real estate his whole life that would probably, like, have meetings and be like, let's say I was a billionaire in Manhattan and I'm vying for different real estate that Trump's also vying for. Trump would have meetings and be like, fuck this robnoerr guy. We're going to bankrupt this motherfucker. He's going to be living on the streets. Fuck him. I hate him. He's fat. He's ugly. He's stupid. His wife sucks. Fuck him. And then he would litigate and take me to court, and do everything possible. And then, at the end of the day, when the business shit was done, he'd be like, hey, Rob, how's it going? How's your beautiful wife? You guys should come over. And part of you's like, how's that possible? It's almost like, it's like professional wrestling with him. Trump's the type of guy that you could have his back like your entire life and then be like, I think this is a fucking mistake. And he'll be like, fuck you. I always knew you were stupid. But then 2 weeks later, if you're like, well, you know, a couple weeks ago, I still think Trump fucked up, but he is absolutely right about this. He'll be like, yeah, you're a great guy. If Trump keeps going with the peace deal and Mark Levin and Laura Loomer don't like it, he'll be making a post like this about Levin and Laura Loomer 2 weeks from now. And to be honest, it is a bit like toddler behavior. It really is. Where it's just like, if you disagree with me, fuck you, you're the worst person ever. And then if next week you agree with me, he's a good guy. Remember when Ted Cruz was the worst dude in the world? And his dad was the fucking Unabomber? Or, I'm sorry, the Unabomber. His dad was the fucking Zodiac killer? Now he's boys with Trump. We get it, consumer. Jaceberg, got it. It's the Jews. Yes, it's just the Jews. He'll never go against the Jews. Ted Cruz is a big Zionist. Why'd he go against him? Care to explain? He would never do that, right? He would never go against the Zionists. Ted Cruz has been a reliable Zionist from day one. Can you explain why he went against him? Is he not Jewish enough? Is that the issue? Non sequitur. Your claim was, but Jews like Laura Loomer, Levine, and Ben, who he shit on everyone who's ever had his back, but Jews like Laura Loomer, Levine, and Ben Shapiro who hate him until now. I assumed your implication was he wouldn't shit on those people because they're Jews. And then I was like, well, here's a Zionist that he did shit on. So that's not a non sequitur. He called his wife ugly. That's right. So I would think if Trump makes a decision and they start talking shit and saying he's fucked up, he'll talk shit on them. So then your real criticism wasn't Jews, it was Adelsons, right? When you said the Jews like Loomer, Levin, and Ben Shapiro. Now it's only Jewish people connected to the Adelsons that he won't criticize. I know. It's fucking frustrating. I get tired of them as well. It's always the same old shit. And then every time you put it out, you're like, really, all Jews? Well, I didn't mean that. That's non sequitur. That's non sequitur. When I said Jews, clearly I just meant Adelson Jews. Half the time when they say Jews, they're like, I didn't mean Jews, I meant Zionists. So here I just skipped right to the point with Ted Cruz being a Zionist. Wow, he's not an now it's Adelson Zionist. And if I find an Adelson Jewish Zionist that Trump's talk shit, he'll just move the goalpost again. I think Consumer has a lot of legitimate criticisms of Trump. But Jaceberg, I name them. They're everywhere. We know it. Everything always Jews. Got it. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's straw manning him. The Super Jews. Thanks, Mad Mark. I believe it was... Who did give memberships? It was probably Thomas O'Brien. Thank you. Those damn Super Jews. Ugh. More menacing than the regular Jews. The Super Jews. I guess. I think Ben Shapiro and Laura Loomer are Super Jews. Who else? Mark Levine, Super Jew. Jesus, Super Jew, maybe. I believe that if Ben Shapiro or Laura Loomer and them came out and was like, repeal the 20 or use the 25th to remove Trump from office, he's an idiot. I think that Trump would probably put messages out like this. Does anyone disagree with me other than the guy who's upset about the Super Jews? If Laura Loomer and Ben Shapiro start doing shows on a daily basis saying how bad Trump fucked up and he needs to be removed by the 25th Amendment, I would expect Trump to respond something like this. Anyone disagree? Or he wouldn't because they're Super Jews, is the counter argument. Yeah, that's the better argument. I don't think Loomer would do it. Shapiro, you could see criticizing Trump. Now, it's certainly true that there are a lot of, Zionists that have undue influence in the United States. I don't disagree with that. I just don't think it's as ubiquitous as the Jacebergs think. So at the end of the day, it's a weird thing because dealing with Trump is a bit like dealing with a toddler, but he sort of earned it. And what I mean by this is, whatever you think of Trump, he has propelled himself to a position of prominence in the financial world and in the political world, right? If you're the court jester, right, and you keep fucking with the king, The king might not have a sense of humor. He might fuck with you every day, and then you make a joke at his expense, and he's like, yeah, off with his head. And that sucks, but he's the king. Same with your boss at work. That's the way power dynamics work. I personally massively disagree, at least when it comes to Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson. I don't think that they have a vested interest in just hating Trump for the sake of hating Trump, or that they're big Iranian, we love Iran. I think they're people that are skeptical of interventionism, and that they're skeptical of being a puppet of Israel. You might disagree with them. Yeah, he had texts leaking back years ago saying he hated Trump. Yeah, I think people could change their mind. J.D. Vance hated Trump. So the question is, if you're Tucker and Alex Jones and shit, how do you react to this? I would be like, I would laugh my ass off. First off, it's the first thing I'd do. And second, I'd say I stand by my criticism if I stood by it. And I'd be like, look, I don't give a fuck. This doesn't move the needle for me. If I think that Trump's about to do war crimes and he's insane, this doesn't move the needle on that for me. Get rid of the motherfucker. So, I don't know. This is what Trump does. He just blows hot air on shit like this. And you're like, eh. It doesn't really mean much to me, I guess, Tanner. I understand the position, but Rob, don't you hate like Mark Levine and company? Yeah. Isn't it a shame that the Lindsey Grahams of the world have his ear? Yep. Yeah, I mean, Tucker's been out there. I mean, Tucker was flipping out because he blasphemed Islam on Easter of all days. Please. He had that guest on the other day he was agreeing with. Here, I'll show you the clip where he's talking about Christianity socialist. And what the fuck? Maybe I'm a stupid X account. Ah! I gotta look it up. I've defended Tucker from a lot of shit. Does anybody believe this shit?
I would actually argue, and this is a bold statement, a democratic republic is the greatest government experiment in the history of humanity. I would
Debatable.
say
I've
that.
enjoyed it.
You've
Yeah,
enjoyed it. Yeah. So we enjoy it. I love America. You love America.
I do.
Capitalism should not be anywhere near Christianity.
You think?
Christianity is more, and I don't like the word socialist with the weight it carries, but Christianity is socialism at its core.
Non-authoritarian.
It's the marker to build social capital. You look at that early Church of Acts and it transformed Rome within a couple hundred years, the greatest superpower of its time, to where Constantine was like, I'm a Christian hanging out with these dudes. They had no money. They had no buildings, but somehow the love of their neighbor transformed the greatest superpower of its time.
Yeah, bullshit. Right. First off, I'm not a theologian, so I don't like to weigh in definitively on this, but I think it's quite clear socialism is coercively taking property to redistribute. I don't see Jesus suggesting that. I don't remember Jesus saying, steal from your neighbor and then give it to your other neighbor. I think Jesus was like, you should be charitable voluntarily. That's what I think. And so, you think? Like, yeah, no. And I'm tired of the hippie Jesus, me, love your neighbor, and so leave all the illegals in, and they're good people, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fuck that. No. So, there's certainly things that I bitched about Tucker recently. I think Tucker, I'm just going to call it like I see it. Tucker's Jacebergen. And it's something I see a lot of people doing. Tucker's came to the conclusion that all of the foreign policy shit he doesn't like is because Israel really controls the United States. And so who are the enemies of Israel? They must be decent people. Muslims, people perverted Christianity to say it's socialism. That's it. I think it's really that simple. Trump's controlled by the Jews. He's worthless. He's sold out. He did so for money, or he's being blackmailed. Whatever. The country is being ran by Jews, by Netanyahu. That's it. The people fighting back, the good folks fighting back, like the people that want to give the land back to the Indians and hate white people on college campuses, and the noble Muslims in other countries around the world. Now, I could dislike both of them. I'm not strawmanning the Jacebergs. When someone says he won't criticize Jews or the super Jews, and then I point that out and they say, I mean the Adelsons, that's not strawmanning. He did say super Jews. He said it, not me. Which, to be fair, we're in a lot of trouble if there's super Jews. I don't know. Zach Gelpy, is he a super Jew? He might be. He's a super guy. He happens to be Jewish. I don't know if that qualifies him as super Jew, though. All right, some more super chats. Naughty Germ, thank you, man. $5 says, gotta bounce bosses walking around. Thanks, man. Tanner, $5 says, I'm more concerned about his new allies than his attacks on Jones and Carlson. Yeah, I agree. And Adam Adamant, $5 says, Trump said the truth in that post. Bridget's better looking than Candace. I'm not saying you look great, but someone has to win between them. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Let's objectify women. All right. Here we go. I'll try to bring up pictures. I'll try my best to not get ones that are unfair. Okay. All right, we got that. And then let's see. Trying to get like a full body picture here. So Trump laid down the gauntlet. Brigitte Macron, more attractive than Candace Owens. I'm trying to find a picture of Candace in a similar angle. Well, here. Oh, that's no good. How do I control minus? Is that how I... There we go. All right. Now, look, I got this new feature. Let's try this. Through StreamYard. Let's see if it works. Let me know if that poll comes up. Oh, how do you vote, though? Look at that. It came up as a little, wow. This is a new feature on StreamYard. Here we go. I'm not going to weigh in. We'll leave the audience decide. So I don't know if you type a 1 or a 2 in the... Oh, look at that. It automatically... Wow, that's neat. How about that? Now, Rumble, it's probably not going to work, but every other place it'll work. Sorry, Rumblers. Rumble doesn't work through StreamYards the same way. Oh, wow. Candace is dominating. It is pretty cool. I like that. Now, listen, though. You know what? It'll probably let you vote more than once. So we're on the honor system here. Chris Pie, I see you voting multiple times. Womp womp. Imaginarium, you rotten bastard. And of course, lobster. I don't know though. I don't know if it works if you do it multiple times. Yeah, let's see if we can a picture of Brigitte Young. That's a good point. That's fair. I don't know if I can find a picture of her young or not. Still difficult because we don't know. Candace may age more gracefully. I see pictures of her younger, but not like I wanted to see her like 30. That'd be fair. How old do you think Candace is? Probably in her 30s, early 30s. I found one picture. I think this is her. I think that's her on the left there. Well, also on the right, but if that's really a picture of her on the left, she looked like an attractive lady, right? I don't know. That's her daughter? Okay. Are you sure? It may be. I don't know. Well, the results are in. Ladies and gentlemen, Candace Owens Donald Trump was wrong. He's wrong, according to my audience. %87% say Candace Owens more attractive than Brigitte Macron. And he's talking about now, I think Trump is. So he's not saying hypothetically what Brigitte Macron used to look like. I also agree. I think Candace Owens is better looking. I don't know. But we get to the bottom of the hard-hitting questions here at the Normal America Show. Now, there's a lot of shit I wanted to talk about tonight, but I ended up talking about fucking monkeys running with dogs and Brigitte Macron, who's more attractive. You know, getting distracted. One of the things I wanted to say was the hypothetical idea that things take a turn for the positive back home in ways that a lot of the base that doesn't like the Iran attack would like. So out of nowhere today, Melania Trump does sort of a speech. Anybody see this? There's two clips we're going to play. Here's the first clip.
Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt, but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth.
Now, there's a lot to say about this. I have mixed feelings. First off, I am convinced that some of the women are bullshitting, if I'm quite honest. Some are no doubt telling the truth and some are bullshitting. So just to blanket will be like, have everyone testify. The problem is then anyone could just come up and say whatever bullshit they want, and we reopen the wound again, where it's like, oh yeah, I was there with Harvey Weinstein and Donald Trump and Diddy, and it was 1973, and they're like, Diddy wasn't born yet. Ah, he was there. He was there. You know. But I do agree that I think that the American people want more transparency, and I think the good outweighs the bad on this. Let the women come in and speak in public in front of Congress. If they say things that are bullshit, then let it up to the people of Congress and the people to point out why it's bullshit. Unless Melania is going completely rogue behind Donald Trump's back, which is a possibility. But if you assume the most likely scenario that Trump knew she was going to say this, she said there were other people other than Epstein. So this could be a signal that Trump and company are going to kick the ball to Congress and say, we demand action. Maybe it's just propaganda for Trump. Could be. Of course, as you know, on all things related to Trump Epstein, you're right, whoever you are that's worried about this is the only issue that ever matters, and my entire show should be in perpetuity, me talking about Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. So if what you could do is replay this 1 minute over and over again, you can see me say Trump's really bad for how he's handling the Epstein thing, and we should criticize him with every waking breath that we ever have. Don't worry about feeding your family. Don't worry about supporting them. Don't worry about taking care of yourself whatsoever. All that matters is Trump Epstein. So you join me in saying Trump Epstein, Trump Epstein, Trump Epstein, Trump Epstein, Trump Epstein, Trump Epstein, Trump Epstein. There you go. That's 55 seconds. The minute will be complete here soon. Please put that in replay for the rest of the show. Thank you. There we go. All right. We should do a Trump Epstein show. It's just 2 hours of that. So we'll see. Point is, I don't think that this is going to lead to anything either, if I'm honest. Now, my take on this has always been, I don't think that Trump did anything on the island or anything like that. I think Trump hasn't seen evidence that there were other people that did. Either it's never existed or it's been destroyed by the FBI or his current FBI is holding it from him. So I don't think this is going to lead to any real changes. But Pam Bondi's gone now, who was absolutely fucking horrendous on this issue. Now Trump's wife's coming out saying we want the women to speak in front of Congress, that there were other people. So I guess it's possible. Now, again, I don't think anything will come of this. But the point I'm trying to make is, what would happen if it did? What if Trump comes out and he's like, look, we demand Congress do this, and it leads to someone being arrested. Then what? All the people that this week are like, black pill, Trump's the worst, what would they say then? People have a short-term memory. Maybe Trump gets the SAVE Act passed. Again, I don't expect it. Inflation numbers came out today, pretty good. Real wage growth still pretty good. I understand the Trump administration is going to spin shit, and a lot of times it could be bullshit, and it's hard to know what the official numbers are, but here's some.
What are the efforts in terms of cutting spending right now, Kevin?
Oh, well, I mean, absolutely, we've made a huge amount of progress. And I think the biggest thing that we can point to is that we've cut government employment by, more than 300,000 workers. And those are jobs that are very high paying that are gone forever. And that reduces government spending by, unthinkable amounts of money, maybe as much as $1 trillion over the next 10 years. We reduced the deficit last year by $600 billion because of higher growth than people thought, and the tariff revenue and more supply side effect of the tax cuts. That's the kind of thing that we expect to see year after year after year. But if you wonder whether we're serious, look at the cut in federal government employment and understand that that's something that is in the baseline now, and it's a cut that's going to be there for each of the next.
The deficit number I'm not so sure about. I do believe that cutting the federal workforce is one of the best things that's happened in the Trump administration. Since October 2025, 4,499 refugees were resettled in the United States, according to the Refugee Processing Center. All except 3 from Afghanistan or South Africa. In the last full fiscal year, the Biden administration, which started in October 2023, 125,000 people were accepted from 85 countries. I could handle 4,500 South Africans fleeing genocide because they're white. I can handle that as opposed to 125,000 people from 85 countries. Does Trump get credit for that? Interior ICE arrests have increased 5 times, street arrests 11 times, arrest into detention 4 times, and voluntary departures are up 28 times. This is on top of 90% asylum denial and removal orders in courts across the country. Here's ICE arrest. You see when Biden left, he upticked for the campaign. So you can see about 2,000 weekly arrests. For Trump, it immediately spikes up and still over 3 times the amount per week that we had under Biden. Interior deportations, Biden per week. When he leaves, we're sitting at around 1,600. Trump, about 6,000. Transfers from jails and prisons and street arrest. Look at the street arrest for Biden. It was under 500. For Trump, we're over 3,000. When it comes to custodial arrest, which is getting immigrants, illegals transferred from prison that had detainers on them, you can see that that's gone from about 1,000 for Biden to about 3,000. And that's with so many of these states that are fighting him. Voluntarily departing, almost 0 with Biden. Now weekly, according to the numbers, we're at about 2,500 a week. Now, maybe these numbers are bullshit. I don't know. And let's be fair. I criticize numbers under Biden. And even with Trump, we see that they revise the numbers all the time. I don't know. But if these numbers are true, does Trump get credit for this? Of course, all of it adds up to the numbers you've heard. That we have net negative migration for the first time in like 50 years in this country. If that's true, does Trump get credit? Or is it he's just controlled by the Jews and Mark Levin? Is it enough? No. Is Trump going to fuck around and probably endorse something like the Dignity Act? Probably. But is it better than the alternative? Yeah. Yeah, it is. And like J.D. Vance said in the clip I showed from you yesterday, you don't blackpill and say, well, then I'm withdrawing from the system or I'm going to accelerate. You say, fuck you, do more. You get involved in the political process and you start to push people that will do more. So, I mean, I think that look, I criticize the shit out of Trump on an almost daily basis. At this point. I like the attack in Iran, didn't like the Venezuela shit. I think there's way too much foreign policy. There's not enough happening domestically. If the numbers are anywhere close to accurate on the asylum, the deportations voluntarily. It's not great, but it's way better. I mean, again, if I would have told you a year into Trump's presidency, we're going to have almost zero people coming across the border illegally, all of you would have been like, that's fucking amazing. That's great. That's exactly what I voted for. But because it happened so early in Trump's presidency, we're all like, nah, but still. Better isn't good enough. Okay. So then what's the alternative? Mass deportations are bust. Define bust. You're not getting them. So now what? Define mass. Define bust. What would the number of deportations need for it to qualify? 2 million a year? Is that mass? Or is that not enough? And then it's bust. And what's bust? Stop voting? Let Democrats win? You tell me. You're not even American, by the way. All or nothing. The Canadian lets us know if Trump doesn't deport every last illegal, then you might as well vote Democrat. Makes sense? Like, I'll do the same to you. Chrysco, if Pierre or whoever, Polivier or whoever's going to be the opposition to Carney doesn't give you everything you want, then vote Carney. It's everything or bust, right? Right? Everything or bust. Bullshit. You think you're getting you think you're going to get mass deportations in Canada? They've already made everyone citizens. You voted non-CPC. So you voted for a party that literally would have gave you everything you wanted, right? What party did you vote for that was literally good? I'll check out their platform and we'll get an idea of exactly what you want, right? Again, I have no problem criticizing Trump. And if there are people that make the decision, I can't vote Republican anymore because they didn't deport enough people, okay. Not everything. It's everything or bust, Chrysco. You sellout. What a sellout. Chrysco voted. It's everybody knows it's everything or bust. How could he do this? You have to vote for Carney or stop voting because there's no party that gives you everything and it's everything or bust. Don't you know that? Don't you know? Man, that's terrible. What is this non sequitur? What does me voting for amnesty have to do for shit? You said it's vote for everything you want or bust. I said, I think that's bad. I don't think withdrawing from the system, blackpilling, or voting for the opposite side that's making things, I think that's bad. That's what bust is. No, you assured that's what we need to do. It's not a straw man. That's why I said define what bust is. What does bust mean then? When you say it's everything or bust, what does bust mean? Define it. Okay, you were speaking about mass deportations. What does bust mean? Everything or bust. That means if you don't give me everything, then something. I literally did. You literally did what? Okay, so then your argument is either everyone gets deported or it's amnesty. So if Trump tries to deport everyone, but one person hides, then it's amnesty. That's your argument. That's the argument. The point I'm trying to make is, look, Things aren't as bad as people are saying. There's things that Trump's done that he should get credit for. There are certain things. It might not be enough for you, that's fine. But the people that are blackpilling and withdrawing from the system, to which you said it's everything or bust. Now, it seems in the context of what I was saying that it's clear what you're saying is, yes, it is reason to blackpill. If we don't get everything we want, then it's blackpill time. It's bust. Now you're like, no, I just mean if we don't deport everyone, that would be some form of amnesty. Cool, you can call it that. And would I take the guy that wants to deport 90% of people and give amnesty to 10 over the person that wants to give amnesty to 100 and then let tens of millions more in? Yeah, I'd take that. I'd still criticize them, but I would take it. And so I said, what does bust mean? Now, here's the truth. I want every single illegal deported. It's not going to happen. And it was never going to happen. Ever. See? Now, does it sound like he's saying what I'm saying? There's no sense voting. Might as well vote for Democrats. They're going to do it again anyway, so might as well. Am I wrong in interpreting that's what he's saying? No sense voting. No sense voting Republicans. Democrats will just do it again anyway, so you might as well not vote or vote Democrat. Isn't that what it sounds like he's saying? See? It's already happened twice. See? Am I wrong? See? So for those that think that I'm strawmanning him, that's it. Black pill. Forget it. Stop voting. That's it. None of it matters. You see? Then he'll deny it when everyone's like, well, that seems like a shitty attitude to have. How's your country going, Chrysco? How about this? I don't really give a shit to see worthless fucking Canadians that have failed, whose country's been taken over, a bunch of pussies who got their fifis hurt because Trump said some mean things about it, telling people in our country that they should blackpill and stop voting. I don't really give a fuck what your stupid fucking Canuck opinion is on it. How about that? Now go take your fishing pole, ask for a fishing stream, and stick it right up your fucking ass because we don't care about your opinion. See? How's that? Make it a little more clear? You go blackpill your country that you failed. Okay? Go blackpill there. Give up. There's nothing to be done. Got it. Fuck off. You're doing so great up there, man. You guys crushed it. And if I hurt your feelings, well, you could probably, within a month or two, get state-assisted MAID or MALD or whatever it's called, because your feelings got hurt and they could get you in a fast track for that, right? So I'm glad it took us fucking 10 minutes to get around to you were doing exactly what I thought you were doing, which was telling people to just remove themselves from the system. Don't vote or vote Democrat. Nothing matters. It's stupid. It's a fucking dumbass idea. Yeah, that'll fix it. Nailed it, buddy. Now he's back to, I didn't say not to vote. Remember what I said? Doesn't it sound like he's saying to vote Republican is worthless? You might as well not vote for him. Either vote Democrat or don't vote. And everyone's like, yeah, that's what it sounds like. And he kept saying, am I wrong? Am I wrong? When I was saying that, now he's saying, as I knew he would do, I didn't say that. I didn't literally say those words. Because you can't stand behind even what you're implying. I don't understand the attitude. I really don't. Now we've changed to don't vote for rhinos. Get involved. Oh! Well, thank you for your opinion as a Canadian that's been all over the place. Maybe it will. Maybe America will end up like Canada in a decade. Could be. I'll at least be trying to do the right thing. The black pillars could say, there's nothing we can do. We just sat there. There's nothing we can do. Hey, have at her. No one's stopping you. That's fine. No one's tried that approach. Unique approach. Here's what we should do. We don't like the people that are running things, so let's just cry and not do anything and withdraw from the system. Or intentionally vote for the people that accelerate it. Yep, that's not been done. That'll work. Chrysco, if I'm not wrong, in your country of Canada, not only have they let people in, I don't even think they have a massive problem with illegal immigrants. They're just straight up importing people that don't share your culture. So if your solution in the United States is complete removal of all of these people or bust, who is in Canada suggesting removing all of the people they've made citizens? Because they've already done it in Canada. Who's the party? Maybe they exist. What do you think the chances of that occurring are? I would say, under the best case of scenario, there's no fucking chance they're deporting citizens. Okay, mass importation of legal mass fraud. Can you show me the candidate that you're voting for, apparently, in Canada that said, we must remove the people that have been made citizens in Canada? After all, otherwise it's amnesty, correct? Remove them all or bust. You wouldn't vote for someone that's not suggesting moving them all, right? That would be amnesty. Correct? So who was it? Who's the party in Canada that's running? What's their percentage of support at? Let's see some quotes. I'd love to see that platform. I'd be all for it. I just don't think anyone has the chutzpah to actually be doing that. Hey, I don't think it's Carney. By the way, I like Chrysco. I'm just giving him a hard time. He's a good guy. I'd be pissed off too. I saw Christopher Scott nailed it. $5, thanks, man. Still upsetty spaghetti about the hockey loss. Cry harder. The men, the women, and the handicap, we beat them. I don't understand. That became legal of any mainstream. Not at the moment. Okay, so then you're not vote. You said you voted for a different party. Why? It's everything or bust. Why would you vote for a party that's not suggesting that? Isn't this an apples to apples comparison? You're like, don't vote for Trump. Don't vote for Republicans because after all, if they don't want to deport everyone, it's amnesty and it's everything or nothing. Everything or bust. But in your country, you're specifically voting for people that aren't giving you everything and are from tantamount amnesty. Okay? So what you're suggesting is there's a big pile of people in Canada you want to see gone. But you'll vote for the people that just wants to get 3 million of them out. Not all of them. They'll leave tens of millions stay, but just want to get 3 million. How is that not the exact criticism that you're levying here? It's all or nothing. How is that not exactly you falling for the exact same criticism? You're willing to vote for people that only want to get rid of a portion of the people that you don't think should be there. And you're like, well, I don't have another choice. How is that also not the exactly pushing back on the criticism you're making here? Exact type of thing. In other words, you are willing to vote for people. And it's not everything or bust. So you're giving advice for America for something you yourself as a Canadian are unwilling to do. Oh, your protest vote. That's cool. I didn't see that. I didn't see you suggesting just protest votes. What a load of shit. There you have it, folks. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I'll have a protest vote. Okay, Carney wins. Now you import more. Great job. You did it, man. You're making a difference. Neither party wanted a reduction, so you chose to vote for a party that wasn't all. You said you wouldn't do that. It's everything or bust. And you're like, well, not for me. For me, it was different. I saw an importance of voting for a party that wasn't everything, that wanted to leave millions. But not you all. You shouldn't do that. Just leave the Democrats win. That's not what I did. I did something different. But that's not what you should do. For you guys, it's all deportations or bust. For you guys in America. Not me. Not me as a Canadian. That's not how I vote. I think protest votes are important. Who cares about PR? You specifically voted for a party that was not everything or bust. Which you implied should not be done in the United States. Simple. Right. Telling us not to vote for Republicans who actually got negative migration because we haven't got rid of them all. Meanwhile, you're voting for people that are the opposite. And you're like, but that's important. That's important. It was a protest vote. But you guys should have just protest voted yourself and allowed them to bring in tens of millions of more. That would have showed them. Canada's a circus. Look, it's clear, though, the entire thrust of what I was saying here, and I'm glad Chrysco spoke up, because the black pill shit is so fucking dumb. Look, there's a solid chance that we'll keep pushing and not get results and we're fucked. Could happen. Yeah, it's absolutely true. But you want to know 100% how you are fucked? To black pill and say, that's it, we're not doing it anymore. It's everything I want or nothing. I won't support anyone who doesn't give everything I want. And you know who's going to give everything you want as a politician? 0 people. So you've effectively taken yourself out of the system. It's everything or bust. Unless you think the numbers are inaccurate, yes, we are getting negative migration. And it doesn't matter if it went through Congress or not. What would the relevancy be? You implied that we shouldn't even vote for Trump because he's amnesty. If you had to line up and said, Rob, you're voting on one issue, immigration. I said, okay. One wants to allow all of the illegals to stay, give them a pathway to citizenship, and bring in 10 million more over 4 years. Okay. The other will have some net negative decline, but he's going to be weak and suggest that a lot of the illegals be able to stay. Which one would you choose? Well, at least temporary allows me to correct it in the future. If I bring in 10 million more, that makes it worse. Anyways, over this conversation. Oh, thanks, Dafta from York over in the United Kingdom. I have not had any luck with my X account, unfortunately. Everything or bust. The gay Somali community in Minneapolis has been clamoring to legalize gay bathhouses. City leaders are considering legalizing the bathhouses and allowing patrons to engage in sexual intercourse. Considering legalizing adult bathhouses, allowing adults to engage in sexual activity. What's up, collector? Not getting everything I want, so might as well stay home and let this win.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU. They can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king, because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Well, I'm glad she was an overweight black woman. Does that make it more tragic? That black woman, you know how many buffets she went to because Elvis stole her song? What the fuck? Someone hit a nerve there, Joy Reid, huh? Some super chats, shall we? Lazarus, thanks so much, $20. Hint, the co-conspirators were women who made millions claiming they were victims. I agree. They've admitted it in recent interviews on Soft White Underbelly. Their attorneys mitigated the redactions. They should testify under oath. I agree. I bet there'll be some that don't want to. That'll be interesting. Muddy Waters, thanks for the membership. And then Adam Adamant, $5 says, in Canada's defense, their conservative candidates can win with the minority of the vote. Unfortunately, other parties can too. Yes, I know. But it goes to the principle of it's everything or bust. Now, of course, Chris and me largely agree on what we'd like to see happen. I agree, deport every illegal. It is not a position that's going to happen. There's not going to be a candidate that wins that's going to run on, I will quite literally not stop until all 30 million or so people are deported. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. I want the FBI disbanded. No one's going to disband the FBI that runs. So what I say, it's disband the FBI or bust. I won't vote for you. Okay? Then you get President Kamala. Okay? I get the frustration as much as anyone, particularly if you're Canadian or if you're in the UK or something. Totally get it. I just don't understand the black pill thing. I don't get it. I really don't. What's the difference? I'll give up all hope. Just sit around morose. Okay? How's that help? How about I'll keep voting for the side that I think's incrementally better than the other? I'll keep getting involved in local politics. I'll keep doing my best to push them in directions that I think are better for national politics. Or, hear me out, I could just say, it's give me everything I want right now or bust. I refuse to vote for you. I'll find some minuscule third party that gives me 75% of what I want and piss my vote away. Then when Democrats win, I'll bitch about it. Again, Trump somehow by the end of the week, or by the end of this year, let's say he deports 5 million people. There's so many people. I demanded everything. That's not enough. It's not enough. I regret my vote for Trump. Shouldn't have done it. 5 million's not enough in 1 year. Okay? Oh, I forgot to play that clip. My gosh. I mean, what can I say? It's just an all-timer. I think I saved this. I mean, my goodness. LGBTQAI plus is out. Thanks to Canada.
Genocide of MMI. Deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2SLGBTQIA+. This is a...
Yes, that's right. The MMIWG2SLGBTQIA plus community. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Amazing. Don't worry, they had other people speak at the event as well.
We will not let fear win. A world without trans people has never existed. A world without drag has never existed, and it never will. Queer people have always been here amongst us. They are our coworkers, they are our brothers, our sisters, they are our mothers, our fathers, they are our families. Drag is art, drag is culture, drag is educational, drag is creative, drag is comedy, but drag is not a crime.
Okay, based on that logic, sexual assaulters have always existed, and we're not going to get rid of them, right? Okay. You'd say, yeah, okay, that's true. It'll never be completely eliminated, and there's always been monsters in society. We'll continue to do our best to get them out of society and punish them, whether it be through legal means, through cultural means. That person right there, one of the most prestigious members of the MMIWG2SLGBTQIA plus community. Get your super chats in, folks. Get them in for the MMIWG2SLGBTQIA plus. Get them in. There's Zach, our very own super Jew. $20. Says Crowder made a great point today that Trump is better than the Dems. He's way better than Romney or John McCain. He's pushed the party further to the right than anyone in decades. Yeah. Look, I get it. My my big issue wasn't even immigration. My big issue is I want to see the corrupt motherfuckers at the FBI and that were involved in intelligence and in politics that used lawfare against Trump in prison. How many people has he gotten? 0. That was my almost single issue. Now, the border and all that shit, very important to me as well. But if I had to pick one issue, it was that one. But I'm not going to blackpill and go, well, that's it. He didn't lock up all of them, so fuck him. I'm going to sit out. I'm going to vote third party. Or I'll vote Democrat. Collector, what's up, man? $10 says, can we just use the old reliable 3-letter word that describes all these demons? Huh. Agreed. And then we got Kyle Mitchell, $20 says, in Canada right now, Carney has rigged his party, with the majority government without even winning the majority. Yeah, people are questioning here in Canada if elections even hold a purpose anymore. That's why the black pill. I agree, but still black pill's not the way to go about it. And you certainly don't tell other countries that are at least having marginal gains to black pill. In my opinion. Now, I know Chrysco's probably pissed and he probably left because I was yelling at him. I still love you, Chrysco. I think you're a good guy, and I would happily go fishing with you every time. And I would not suggest anyone put fishing poles up their rectum or anything like that. I do hate the fucking black pill shit, though. I don't even know if you can white pill. I don't know what that means. Canada also has negative population growth due to immigration. How's that work? I don't understand. Immigrants are having less children, so it counts as negative population? Anyways, have fun working, man. I wish you well. Yeah, that's right. The white pill is the Christ pill. The real reason, if you want to get black pilled, the chimp war that we covered earlier. We're cheering for Morton to make a comeback. I'll fucking depress you guys before we start the final portion of this show. Say a prayer for the chimp civil war in Uganda. It's no good. Us humans, okay, we suck. We fuck things up. But the chimps? Come on. Trump. Send out Marco Rubio. Let's solve this. If you missed it, we covered it earlier, and it's a big mess. Just so you have an idea of what's going on today in the chimp civil war in Uganda. This group of the Blues, you can see where they were stationed earlier today. That's Chimp Group Center. They've had to retreat with mass casualties as their alpha male Morton is suspected dead. And then the group, the West, Chimp Group West, their alpha male Garrison launched a broad offensive. And they're saying that he is sort of a war mastermind. Now listen, the guy that's covering, I'm just seeing this now. It says the Chimp Group Center Secretariat has released a statement claiming that Morton is unharmed and currently directing combat operations from his command post. Claims that he's incapacitated or avowed enemy propaganda. And here we have some pictures. So it's getting hot. I think that we need to send Rubio there and try to have a peaceful resolution. Come on, Morton. You can pull out. I think Morton's going to be all right. The Chimp said nukes. Fuckers. I could get in trouble for this, but I wasn't going to show this. I have another report, sadly, of my hacked X account. The Nigerians hacked my X account. So apparently now there's a feud going on. And there's now violence in Nigeria over who gets access to the robnoerr account. This was live footage someone sent to me. You can see it's getting really hairy. Yeah, see, it's like, at robnoerr. This is no good. I hate to see my X account leading to violence like this. No good. Now watch. This is the guy that ends up with my account. Watch. This is a unique move here. It's like barrel roll. Bam! Oh! So far, X has not been a lot of help. Now, I know it was Nigeria. At least the person who demanded the $200 ransom, his phone number was a Nigerian phone number that called my phone. So, I implore you all. Yeah, the alligator roll, that's what they said. Man, I'm such a fat fucking out of shape. If I'd ever get in a fist fight that would be recorded, it'd be so pathetic. The Nigerian prince got me, yeah. All right. Well, I yelled at the audience enough today. It was fun. Don't blackpill. It's stupid. I hear it's Speakeasy's birthday today. Pretty cool. I had one of those once. I'm not going to go over for the open pin. I do whip songs. I'll play whip songs. I will. Tomorrow, I think there'll be a special edition of the extravaganza over on the Crucible. Normally, we don't do it on Fridays, but because Andrew was debating today, we pushed it back. So, should be a good show. I got all kinds of good things. I got a bunch of jokes at Mr. E's expense lined up. So, tune in for that. I've just decided I'm going to call him a chronic masturbator. I don't know that it's true, but we can all laugh and pretend that it's been confirmed. So, yeah, it'll be fun. Now, I'm going to raid Speakeasy because he's doing a birthday thing. Steelborn will probably go over on Speakeasy's channel anyways. But, well, no, I agree with that. I'm not saying there's some Republicans, especially at your local level, like where I'm at locally, like Democrats are like, yeah, Second Amendment fucking rules. We just think that property taxes should be a little higher. And I'm like, boo. But hypothetically, could there be some fucking Republican that's worse? Yeah. In general, though, for a national election or a big state election, I would never vote for a Democrat. But the key is you have to get involved at the local level and you have to get involved in the primary system. You just do. And a lot of the people that bitch, they don't do that. Now look, I'm a fucking piece of shit too. I should do way more than I do. But I've tried. I spent thousands of dollars running for Congress myself. And I go to all these fucking Republican meetings. And I try to push candidates at these local elections that I think are good. But I could do way more. But it always frustrates me. And I've known people like this my whole life. My whole life. Like, it doesn't matter who you vote for. Blah, blah, blah. Politics doesn't affect me. And then COVID hit and they're like, what the fuck? It's like, Told you. It's not to say that if you went out and voted, it could have been different, or it would have been different, but it could have been. What percentage of Republicans vote in Republican primaries? It's like 30%. It's pathetic. And part of it's just this doomer, oh, there's nothing we can do anyways. So for me, I think it's very important. Maybe I'm a dickhead about pushing back against the black pill thing. I get it, but look, I kind of know that my audience sometimes likes for me to be a dickhead, if I'm honest. Plus, I am a dickhead, so, take that for what it is. But there is a reason. Like, the low voter turnout with, like, local elections, primaries and stuff, Democrats are way more motivated usually than Republicans. Republicans will get out there for the big national election, but oh, the natalism shit, I watched some of that today. Yeah, that guy wasn't very good. The key, like Andrew nailed it right out of the gate. I knew Andrew, like the key argument. If you're like, we should have people stop having babies because suffering exists in the world and suffering something to be avoided, but what about pleasure? What about the good things in life? It's like yin and yang. If we avoid suffering, then we try to achieve the good in life, right? Pleasure or goodness or well-being, however you want to put it. And he's like, no, suffering is a negative to be avoided, and pleasure or well-being or whatever, it's not a good, it's neutral. Stupid argument. Where's the differentiation? And then when pressed, he's just like, well, a lot of good is just trying to get away from suffering. Okay, but suffering's just the absence of good. And I can prove he doesn't live by his own ideology. You want to know how? Because he's alive. If he's right that life's more suffering than positive, and that that's to be avoided as the highest thing, why are you still here? You have an option, especially if you're in Canada. Right? So then the argument, I didn't watch the debate, but I can intuit that his argument's going to be like, yeah, but I have a choice. When you choose to have a child, they don't have a choice. They're born into it. But they can always make the choice later. If they're never born, then they don't have a choice. Stupid argument. He questioned, well, there you go. All right, how many stupid ass songs do I owe today? 1, 2, 3. All right, $100 for a whip song. We'll play the wheel. $150 to request a specific one. Every time we get over at this point a specific number that's even, like 500, 600, right? A number that ends in 100. We'll play another one. So I owe 3. Technically, I already played the non-whip amazing crypto song. That should count. But I know you people won't allow it. I think we get to 200% of the goal tonight. I think it's a possibility. Piano power metal. I swear half of these that were created that night, I don't remember. I was just literally, I somehow, like, a self-defense mechanism, like, turned out, like, just shut my brain off.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right. Crack on the back says we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war.
Woo! More super chats. The great Zach Yelpy, $10 says, do you think at some point I could review Nick Mattel versus JS Gary Eppy from last night? Sure. JF's a very smart dude. What was it on, if you don't mind? Was it Jewish? I don't know Nick Mattel. Was it Israel related? That I could probably do. Sometimes JF debates genetics and shit. That might be harder. I don't know how much I have to say. But, yeah, I could look at it. Kaylee's $10 says, come on, $9. And then linebacker for 10. Appreciate you all. Says, I almost got fired today. Meg's interview, I mentioned I would go home and listen to the Rob Noor show. I got promoted to CEO. Thanks, Rob. You saved my marriage. Well, it was on Israel. Yeah. Oh, Coach Mim. Thank you so much. Well, we're at $500. It's 3 whip songs I owe. Remember, 100 would be 2 more at this point. What am I doing? There we go. You guys are the best. Okay.
The problem is there's so many with a lack of Disney now. I'm getting flustered back here.
It's fine by me.
We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the light says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where's the way? There's always we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the Dark Lord's war. There's a way.
Am I wrong that sucks the life out of like a version? Not a fan. I mean, they all suck, but all right, 2 more. Let's get this shit over with. Whee! What nightmare fuel do we have next? Oh, K-pop. Wow.
There's a way. 채찍 있는 곳에는 방법이 있습니다. 채찍 있는 곳에는 방법이 있습니다. 채찍 있는 곳에는 방법이 있습니다. 우리는 오늘 전쟁에 나가고 싶지 않지만 채찍질의 구주는 아니 우리는 하루 종일 We're gonna march all day. All day, all day, all day. 하루 종일 행진할 거야 채찍. 길이 있습니다. 채찍이 있는 곳에는 방법이 있습니다. 채찍이 있는 곳에는 방법이 있습니다. 채찍이 있는 곳에는 방법이 있습니다. 왼쪽 오른쪽 왼쪽 오른쪽 왼쪽. 채찍이 Levin 곳에는 방법이 있으면 우리가 싸울 거라고 하더군요. 우리는 밤낮으로 행진할 것입니다. 우리는 어둠의 군주 전쟁의 노예이기 때문입니다. For we are the slaves of the dark Lord's war.
Horrible. Fucking horrible. Yeah, I know the viewers all leave. I know. All right.
I made this one up.
There's a whip. Well, there's a whip. There's a way. There's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the lands said, nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. There's a whip. Well, there's a whip. 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 Well, there's a whip. There's a whip. There's a whip. There's a whip. Well, there's a whip. There's a whip. There's a whip. There's a whip. Left, right. Left, right. Crack on the back says we go down to fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slaves of the dark Lord's war. There's more. There's more.
Did we do it? Are we done? You guys are the best. I thank you for your generosity. I hate those fucking whip songs. So happy to be done with it tonight. Oh, I have another good Mr. E joke. But I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for tomorrow. I'll save it for the extravaganza tomorrow. I did see the antitrust lawsuit against the NFL. I don't know what to make of it. It has to do with sort of the rights to where they could broadcast or something. An Urukai marching song. Yeah, we have that one.
Where there's a whip, there's a way.
But no. But yeah, that song exists. Yeah, Paulie, I'd appreciate. Don't DM my Nigerian hackers pictures of You could pick that song for $150. Am I tired? Tired of whip songs.
For $150, they can get a Disney whip song too, Rob.
That's true. I suppose they could. Oh yeah, I can tease you like that. Yeah, put up more money. Yeah, that is true. We haven't seen Mystery and Brian Shapiro in the same room. True. That is true. All right, folks. We'll call it here. It's a 3-hour show. How about $20 like the good old days? Now, we did that on the next year. We'll do that again on the second annual Wade Boggs Whip Extravaganza. Not until then. That led to me playing 500 and something fucking songs. Not doing it. Good. Feel alienated. That's great. You have missed some whip songs. No. I can tease. That's what I did. Just think. $150 and you can choose that song. Plus you get a free wheel with it. Where's the Pirates hat? It's somewhere around here. I have a bunch of hats. But Rob, no, I will not be shamed. I've played enough of these fucking songs. I no longer feel any shame when people, can't you just give us a free one? No! My heart has been hardened. $150. It's $150 to pick the song. $50 for OG whip song. One time, if someone donates $50, we'll play one OG whip song. And that's it. A one-time special. You're just a lowly housewife. No $150 to give up. That's capitalism. What can I say? I know Tucker's guest doesn't like that, but tough luck. Thanks, Doberman. I appreciate that, man. Don't bring Jesus' name into this. All right. People complain. $50. Someone sends in $50. Oh, look at that. You guys made Wade do it. I thought someone else would jump in, and Wade would have been like, wow. That's what I thought would happen. But Wade, thank you so much. All right, here we go. Stream getting demonetized now. Let's do it!
Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, we don't want to go to war today. But the Lord of the lashes says, nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where there's a whip, there's a way. 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 Left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right.
Is everybody happy? We did it. We did it. Amazing. Of course, now it's only another 50 for another wheel. And a lot of whips. Everybody's singing out loud. Not me. Everybody's happy. There you go. Surely someone will donate 50 so Wade feels a little better. But that's okay. You guys are very generous. I can't thank you enough. It is tormenting. It is. It annoys the fucking shit out of me, the whip song. It really does.
Speakeasy's birthday, so let's raid him.
Yeah. Yep, we're raiding over. See, Wade would feel better if someone donated another 50. Poor Wade. He's probably got this face right now. I feel nice. Someone donated another 50. Like the pouty lip. Poor Wade. Donates all this money for everyone else. And then just someone donate 50. Well, them's breaks. All right. Well, it's been a good show. Oh. I've enjoyed my show. I hope that the chimps settle down. The Uganda chimp civil war, I hope it ends. I didn't buy a big truck, I wish. Yes, everybody getting big trucks except me. Thank you so much to Avarice and Black Elk and Are We Not Men and all the mods. Keely's Ware, Naughty Germ. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to everyone who donated. Even Wade and his constant tormenting of me, constantly one-upping me. But I appreciate it. Thank you to even my buddy Chrysco, who I was yelling at. Don't blackpill. What the hell's going on with my head here? Anyways, you guys are the best. 6 o'clock tomorrow over on the Crucibles Rumble channel. I'll be doing the extravaganza. I'll be back here around 10. Probably hop over on Verbal Combat at least for a bit so you guys can see my cool-ass new Verbal Combat character. Yeah! Should be fun. All right. Take a moment. Oh, wow. The farting Spartan makes Wade happy. Thank you so much. $50. Unreal. As long as it's not the dumbass Disney or Wolf song, I'll be happy. And using the word song with that Wolf thing's generous. Russian folk. All right. I could live with this.
There's a way, there's a way. Where there's a way, there's a way. We don't wanna go to war today, but the Lord of the Lash says, nay, 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 we're gonna march all day. All day, all day. Back right, there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left, right, left. Where there's a whip, there's a way. Left, right, left, right, right.
We did it. Thank you so much, Fartin Spartan. All right. Well, everybody got it out of their system. I could go now. I think, right? Thank you, Fartin Spartan. I would not have thanked you if it was that stupid Wolf Jazz one. I'm proud to say I don't know that song's came up since. Maybe it has once since the Whip Extravaganza. No one wants to donate the $150 for it, so it's got a 1 in 98 chance of coming up, and so far we've been lucky. We are only $127 away from 200%. Someone could donate $150, and then not only will we get to 200%, they could say, I don't want the Wolf Jazz or the Disney songs. Let's pick something better. Oh, look at this. Some teens were talking trash about Charlie Kirk at the store last night. I was listening to your podcast in years, so I didn't exactly catch it, but I do live near Seattle, so I guess. Yeah, fuck these people, man. Pisses me off. I told you the story when I went down to Tim Pool's show in Florida there, and the fucking hotel employee was talking shit about he wanted someone to assassinate Trump. I was real close. I was going to be like, phew. But I was a coward and said nothing. Fucking people. Everybody tough guy. Oh, Charlie. I love the Charlie Kirk. I was going to talk about this today too, and I didn't. Charlie Kirk never debated professors. Well, Crowder's out there trying, and all the venues are canceling on him. Fucking assholes. You know? I don't know, Wade. I just got the worst heartburn in the world. I made dinner tonight. How about that? My wife was busy. She was on the phone. My son's been a little sick. So she was trying to convince him to take a little bit of cough syrup. He is very adamantly against the procedure. So I said I would handle dinner, and we had a Red Baron 4-cheese pizza. I successfully made it, cut it into nice pizza slices. So 2 slices of Red Baron, you know. $150 for 2 whip wheels and a Disney. Who said that? Oh, that's just our we don't, man. That's true. Yeah, man. You know, I love my son still at the age where it's like, you know. Rob said it on X. He's like, Dad, you made good supper. I'm like, yeah. My wife just rolls up. My wife will like spend hours making like an excellent meal. And then I just pop a fucking frozen pizza in the oven. I had microwave shit. I'm better than that. I'll at least pop it in the oven. Air fryer? This was a bigger one. I don't know. The air fryer I have, it wouldn't have fit. But yeah, I bet that would be good. Saw it on X. What is that? Fuck those Nigerians. Did I ever have a pizza pizzazz? No, I don't know what that is. I don't know what the pizza pizzazz is. Yes, Micah. You too, man. How's the Rumble crowd looking? Always lively over the Rumble crowd. I got some weird shit going on here, though. What's going on? There we go. What's up, man, Cozy? Yeah, the mini deep dish Red Barons are good. Yeah, my guy I used to work with loved those. Of course, I've had calzones. Great. Now, don't follow my ex for crypto. They're liars. They stole my fucking account. All right. Everybody good? Did we successfully? Calzones are very good. Now, what's the difference between a calzone and a stromboli? For me, it was always that it's got like, the calzone has more cheese, right? So it'll have like the ricotta cheese in it. And then the stromboli has sauce in it, where the calzone, the sauce is on the outside. That's how I always. But then I've had calzones with the sauce inside, and I'm like, oh, I thought that was a stromboli. Stromboli has meat now because I get a lot of ham calzones.
A stromboli is like a hot pocket. It has sauce in it.
That's what I'm saying. Stromboli has sauce, the calzone doesn't.
You dip with the marinara with the calzone.
That's how I thought. And then the calzone usually has some sort of like ricotta cheese.
Yes, and stromboli is like a hot pocket. Calzone's like a folded pizza.
No, because a folded pizza would have sauce.
No, I mean just the shape. Like one.
Oh no! Stromboli could be that shape as well. Where I'm at.
Oh really? Our stromboli is like hot pockets.
I mean, I've seen those, but yeah, the strombolis around here, most of them are literally folded pizza.
Oh well.
Because then the calzone, instead of having the sauce, it'll have like ricotta cheese.
Well, I want to go to your house and have a stromboli now.
They're very good. The Italian place around here, their strombolis is very good. Strombolis is inside out calzone. No. Yeah, Coach Mim also pissing me off. All right, folks. Thank you. It's been a fun night. I think we've got the whip songs out of everyone's system. I gave everyone enough time. Oh, Zach's got it. Calzones are folded half moon pockets. Italians usually ricotta. Yep, meant for one person. Strombolis are rolled, log-shaped Italian-American creations, usually mozzarella. Okay. I didn't know the individual verse sharing.
I don't know. The people Mr. Gelpy associates with have been known to propagate a few times.
Boo. Fuckers. All right. It's Speakeasy's birthday. So we're going to raid over to Speakeasy. Thank you, everyone, tonight for your incredible generosity. Thank you for sending money for whip songs, and thank you for stopping sending money for whip songs so that I could go to bed. That also is great. I appreciate that. Take a moment and just think of the life of Charlie Kirk. How he was assassinated. They cheered for it. They mocked his family. They mocked him. They mock his memory. And never forget what the stakes are. So just say a prayer, if you will, for him and his family. For you all, I will see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock on the Crucible's Rumble channel. And then right back here tomorrow night, we'll probably do some verbal combat. On that note, we're raiding over to Speakeasy, so make sure you tell him happy birthday. I will see you all tomorrow evening. As always, have a good one. Oh, I didn't have the outro video set. There we go.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.